Bradbury, editor-in-chief editor of Total Croatian News and Total Montenegro News, for what I'm sure is going to be a very interesting perspective on both markets.
I feel a bit of a fraud standing here in front of you because I think I'm the only person in the room who's never made any money in real estate in this region. I first came to the region in 2002. I bought a house in Jeltzer-on-Loire, and a week later I met a girl in the library, and now I think I'll never leave. But before I met my future wife, I met a lawyer, and the lawyer said to me two words, the scariest words in the Croatian language from a legal perspective: "Nema problema." And my first advice to you is, if you're doing real estate here and you have a lawyer who says "Nema problema," get on the first plane home and get away. Soon after that, he came up with a phrase I've never ever heard anywhere else in Croatia, and it's only used in legal terms when the lawyer says "Nema problema," and the phrase is "Ima problemčić." And so that's basically my baptism. I had a real estate agency for 3 years and so on. But what I want to talk to you today is more about my experiences as a writer, monitoring things here. While I was doing real estate, I noticed that there was a pattern. In 2004, there was a huge marina going to be built on the island of Korčula, and everybody was buying off-plan because this was a new thing, and nothing happened. And then there was something else that was developed in Croatia, and then all the hype, and then nothing happened. And I just kept seeing these things, and things were announced, and nothing really happened. And in 2014, I wrote an article called A Tale of Two Nicky Beach Resorts, Croatia and Greece. So the story in Greece in 2006 was some developers bought some land in Greece. They announced in 2010 that they would open on August 1st, 2014, and they did. In Croatia, on the island of Varnja Sučuraj, some investors bought some land, or they thought they did, in 2007. And in 2014, when the Greeks were opening, they were still trying to get ownership of the land. So there was definitely some sort of problem here. 5 years later, I wrote an article called A Tale of Three Nicky Beach Resorts, Croatia, Greece and Montenegro, because Nicky Beach has now announced they're going to open in Montenegro as well. They've also announced a second development in Greece, and meanwhile on the island of Hvar in Croatia, we're still waiting for ownership issues to be resolved. And so we're now 12 years into this project. This is a €270 million investment with 500 jobs. I'm a huge fan of the Four Seasons project. I lived on Hvar for 13 years. I think it's amazing. I think it would be transformation for the island to bring it really back to its luxury. 2 years ago, I went to the opening of the showroom, and the Minister of Tourism, Gary Capelli, announced to the world that they would be 140 million investment and everything else. Gary Capelli is still the Minister of Tourism. It's still the same development, still the same government, and as Beckett said, they're still waiting for the permits and stuff. And so this is not against the Four Seasons at all. This was the first sort of sign that there's perhaps a little bit of a problem here in Croatia, and there's not much accountability. And when the government ministers endorse something and then nothing happens, perhaps we have a small problem. But I thought it was a Yugoslav thing. I thought, Yugoslavia, the socialism, Tito, and everything else, there was a problem. And then February last year, I went to Uštica Bay. The first time I went to stay with a friend of mine who's working there, and I was absolutely blown away. I mean, the project was fantastic, 7 billion square meters. 7 luxury hotels, 2 marinas, really 2,500 people, and it was happening. It's an old golf course, but it was really happening. But he said to me, yeah, in 5 months, we're going to open the jetty. And I laughed, and I'm like, but there's nothing there. And 5 months later, it opened, pretty much on time, like 5, 6 days late. And when I got home after that visit in February, I wrote an article called Lessons from Montenegro, Why Uštica Bay Will Never Happen in Croatia. And it was quite popular in Podgorica, so it wasn't so popular in Zagreb, the article. But then it got me thinking, if we have 1.1 billion investment in Uštica, so we have, I don't know, Porto Montenegro is about 300-400 million? 5, okay, so $500 million and then we have Porto Novo, which apparently is 900 million. What was the biggest investment, successful foreign investment on the Adriatic coast in Croatia. So I asked the ministry, and nobody really knew. They only had data for the last 5 years. And so I did a bit of research, and I found that the biggest investments in real estate from a foreigner, there's a lot happening with Croatian companies, Valamar, people like that, that's working. But foreigners, the biggest one was Falkenstein Punta Scala, just north of Zagreb, which was 160 million in 2011, 8 years ago. The second biggest was Sun Gardens Dubrovnik in 2009, 150 million, 10 years ago. But the biggest investment in 2019 dollars in Croatia was back in 1971 on the island of Krk, when Tito and Penthouse got together and did this gin palace casino in Montenegro. And ironically, today it's a ruin, and nothing's really happening with it. So nothing was really, things were happening in Montenegro, this small country with only 295 kilometers of coastline, and in Croatia, 1,777, very little foreign projects are coming to bear. Last year I went to the Hotel Adria Forum in Zagreb, and there was a wonderful presentation by the Montenegrin Secretary of State Secretary Davidovic about all the projects that were happening in Montenegro. And he spoke about specific projects, there were specific numbers and everything else. The Croatian presentation started, and in the slide here it said that in 2018 we're investing 940 million euros into a tourism project, which looks great on the slide. And I was curious, what is included in this 940? And nobody seemed to know. And so I did some research, and I found that 140 million of that was Four Seasons, 160 million was Kuwait. 9 of those have happened. So actually it's not 940, we're already down to 640. The number doesn't change. That slide looks as though things are happening. And this is my experience in Croatia, is that there's a perception that things are moving forward when actually they're not. We'll come to second homes in a minute because that's the topic, but I wanted to show you one very quick example which shows you everything. This is the 2013 7-year strategic plan for Croatia from the Ministry of Tourism, where it says that golf is at the core of everything that they're doing. I checked with the ministry, and they said that by 2020 there would be 30 new high-quality golf courses, 14 in the Northern Adriatic, 8 in the southern, 8 in continental Croatia. 2019, number of courses completed, 0. Number of courses started, 0. Number of lawsuits against Croatia from golf investors, 1. Value of that lawsuit, 500 million euros. So we're 6 years into a 7-year plan, fantastic. But the problem is, this is a 2013 plan. Let's go back 7 years before that, to 2006. Jack Nicklaus, biggest name in golf, meets Ivo Sanader, Prime Minister now in prison, and they announce a 200 million golf resort in Istria. So if you've got the biggest name in golf, you've got the Prime Minister probably endorsing it, and then nothing happens. But now if you look on the Ministry of Tourism website in 2017, that project has been resurrected. I mean, I don't think Jack knows much about it, but still nothing's happened. And so here you have like 13 years at least when nothing has happened. So what does Croatia do to keep the story going? They have an annual golf tourism conference. The third annual golf tourism conference was last month. I mean, I don't know what they talk about, so I wrote an article, is Saudi Arabian wine more likely than golf tourism in Croatia, because there's really nothing happening. So but that's just an example of like people are talking about golf, but if you actually stop and look, there's absolutely nothing happening. But I want to talk about something completely different about second homes, because to me the most interesting region is the Boca Bay area and Dubrovnik. And so, one second. Pull this up. So I'm not good at this technology stuff. There we go. So when I went to Lustric, I was blown away, and Porto Montenegro I've been going to for several years, and it's a fantastic development, as Beckett and Craig were saying. But I went to see Porto Novi, which is opening the first phase this year. And you know, I was shown around, and it's 900 million, and it's 10,000 euros a square metre in places, and it's fantastic. And I said, this is all great, But how are you going to get your luxury guests from Dubrovnik Airport through that terrible border? I mean, all respect to Herzegovina as a town, it's beautiful, but the first impression you get is not exactly wild beauty as in the tourism brochures and so on. So how do you actually get that? And she said, well, it's very simple. Over here, we have our customs and passport control. And so now you can go with a speedboat from Dubrovnik City, 45 minutes, and you're here. And we'll take care of everything else. We have a helipad over there. And so 7-8 minutes from Dubrovnik Airport, you're here. We'll do all the passport control. We have there we go. So you have the helicopter. But then you have also at Montenegro, which is the last village of Croatia. We have a luxury transfer down to that, and then we have a very quick speedboat, which will take you to all these resorts: Manula, Porto Novi, Porto Montenegro, and so on. And so I finally realised that actually you've now got this wonderful thing of Lushtica, 7 luxury hotels. You've got the 2 marinas, the golf course. You've got Porto Montenegro, the Pioneer. You've got Porto Novi. You've got the Bay of Kotor. You've got the old town of Kotor, and you've got this beautiful little free addition, the city of Dubrovnik in Croatia, which now is becoming a de facto extension of luxury Montenegrin tourism, and not necessarily the jewel of Croatia. And you've got all the infrastructure of the Dubrovnik Airport, bringing over 2 million passengers a year. You've got 1.2 million coming from Tivat, and actually this region is extremely exciting for second home, and this is where luxury tourism is working. And the other big difference between Croatia and Montenegro is, in Montenegro I see that they're building communities. And so you have, like we've heard about Porto Montenegro, and there's a lot of stuff happening. It's now a 12-month destination. And the fact that people are coming from Dubrovnik in winter for the weekend to Tivat, 15 years ago, that would have been a joke. But now there's stuff going on in Tivat in the winter, and there's nothing happening in Dubrovnik. And so you have, like Porto Novi is now going to be another residential destination. But if you look at Centrale in Lushtica Bay, there's this perception that Russia is this, Montenegro is this Russian sort of playground. But Centrale is a complete community with schools and everything, 2,500 residents that will be when it's finished. They've sold to 36 different nationalities so far. The biggest buyers are from the Germanic countries of Switzerland, Austria and Germany, followed by the Middle East. Last year, they sold 25% of their real estate when it was sold to Montenegrins and Serbs. So there's a mix there of locals are now coming in there. And so this is something that's, in terms of real estate, is really, really building. It's something that can be used not just 2 weeks a year, but there's much more revenue potential. I'm very grateful to Kira for giving me this slide here. If you look at the Porto Montenegro effect, 2006, it was about the lowest in terms of real estate value with Herzegovina, Budva and Kotor. And now you see it's the absolute #1. So whatever Porto Montenegro has done for itself, it's really done for the community as well. And so anybody who's been living in that region has very much benefited from that. And so I would say, now with Porto Novi coming on board, that real estate in Herzegovina is probably worth looking at again, land and so on, because what's happening is these big projects are coming in, and it's all filtering down to the locals as well. And just one final slide. I probably haven't got everything, but it's just kind of like a snapshot of what's happening. Croatia has 1,777 kilometres of coastline. Montenegro has 295. Croatia has over 1,000 islands. Montenegro's got, I think, 11. And these are the luxury hotel brands that are either announced or either already in existence or coming to Montenegro and to Croatia. And as you can see, for a country which has 6 times less, it's all going to Montenegro and not principally to Croatia. And I love Croatia. My wife's Croatian, my kids are Croatian. I genuinely want the best for it, but unless we recognise this problem and do something about it, it's just, things will not change it. And the potential of Croatia is phenomenal. But it's time to start treating, in my opinion, it's only an opinion, I don't know all the data that these guys have, It's time to start treating foreign investors with respect and try and make things happen. That's it.